Book summary of Atomic Habits by James Clear. James Clear, a habits expert whose newsletter reaches millions and whose work draws from biology, psychology, and neuroscience, argues that remarkable results stem not from massive overhauls, but from tiny compounding changes in daily habits. Drawing from his personal recovery from a severe injury through incremental routines, Clear presents a science-backed framework. Habits as atomic, small fundamental units that build systems over goals. The book's core thesis: focus on systems, processes, rather than goals, outcomes, as you fall to the level of your systems. Structured around a four-stage habit loop: cue, craving, response, reward, Clear derives four laws of behavior change. 1. Make it obvious, cue visibility. 2. Make it attractive, craving enhancement. 3. Make it easy, response simplification. And 4. Make it satisfying, reward immediacy. Inversions break bad habits. The narrative flows from fundamentals, why habits matter, identity shifts, to practical tactics, advanced strategies, talent, motivation, and appendices on applications. Backed by anecdotes like British cycling's marginal gains and experiments on dopamine, the guide emphasizes awareness, environment design, and reflection for lasting change. Side note, another great book, Duhigg's The Power of Habit, echoes the loop model, but focuses more on institutional habits. Fogg's Tiny Habits aligns with scaling small behaviors, but prioritizes anchoring over Clear's stacking. Part 1. Fundamentals. Why tiny changes yield big results. Clear opens with his story. A high school baseball injury led to coma, recovery via small habits, and eventual success as a writer and entrepreneur. Habits determine life quality. Same habits yield same results, but better ones unlock potential. Overemphasizing defining moments ignores daily compounding. 1% daily improvement yields 37 times growth yearly, while 1% decline nears zero. Compounding power and lagging measures habits compound like money, small. Gains, e.g. British cycling's 1% tweaks, aerodynamic bikes, heated shorts, led to Olympic dominance. Results lag efforts. Weight reflects eating habits. Knowledge reflects learning. Focus on trajectory, not position. Breakthroughs follow plateau of latent potential. Persistent effort breaks through like melting ice at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Systems over goals. Goals set direction, but systems drive progress. Winners and losers share goals. Systems differentiate problems. Goals create yo-yo effect, post-achievement void, restrict happiness, I'll be happy when, and compete. Habits as systems solve root issues. Atomic habits build remarkable results. Identity-based change. Habits shape identity. 3 layers: outcomes, processes, and identity. Outcome-based, lose weight. Identity-based, become healthy. Cast votes for desired self via habits. Example: stop saying no thanks, I quit. Old identity. Say, I'm not a smoker. New. Progress requires unlearning old identities. Edit beliefs continuously. Habit loop mechanics. Thorndike's cat experiments reveal 4 stages. Cue, triggers. Brain, craving, motivational force. Response, habit, reward, satisfies. Problem phase, cue, craving, sense, need. Solution phase, response, reward, act, and resolve. All behaviors solve problems, e.g. wake up, feel alert, drink coffee, satisfy alertness. Framework. 4 laws evolve from this loop. Side note from Related. A book in Duhigg's The Power of Habit, The Loop, Cue, Routine, Reward, mirrors Clear's but emphasizes keystone habits, e.g. exercise sparking broader changes, adding institutional examples like Alcoa's safety focus transforming profits, a macro lens on Clear's micro-personal approach. Part 2, the first and second laws. Make it obvious and attractive. These laws target the problem phase, cue awareness, and craving amplification. First law, make it obvious, cue visibility. Habits go unconscious, raise awareness via. Habits scorecard, list daily behaviors, score plus or minus equals. Point and call, verbalize actions, heightens mindfulness. Implementation, intentions, I will behavior at time and location, doubles exercise adherence. Habit stacking, after current habit, I will new habit, e.g. after coffee, meditate. Diderot. Effect, one action cascades stack positively. Environment design, prime spaces, e.g. visible fruit for healthy eating. Context is cue, stable environments foster habits, new ones ease adoption. Inversion, make bad cues invisible, e.g. remove TV from bedroom. Second law, make it attractive, craving boost. Dopamine spikes pre-reward. Anticipation greater than experience. Temptation, bundling, pair want, Netflix with need, bike. Premax principle, link likely behaviors to unlikely. Social imitation, adopt from close peers, mini crowd, powerful, prestige. Join cultures normalizing desired behaviors, e.g. CrossFit for fitness. Underlying motives, habits, fulfill needs, conserve energy, bond. Reprogram, mind, highlight benefits, reframe positively, e.g. nervous to excited. Motivation. Rituals, cue pleasure, e.g. favorite song before workout. Inversion, make bad habits unattractive, e.g. reframe smoking as disgusting. Side note from related book, Fogg's tiny habits complements by stressing anchors, like clear stacking, but adds emotion. Celebrate tiny wins immediately to wire positivity, akin to Clear's dopamine focus, but more micro, e.g. fist pump after flossing one tooth. Part 3. The third and fourth laws. Make it easy and satisfying. These laws address the solution phase, simplify action, and reinforce via rewards. Third law, make it easy. Response friction reduction. Motion versus action planning. Motion delays, act via repetition. Law of least effort. Humans default to easiest path, e.g. Eurasia's east-west axis aided crop spread. Reduce. Friction prime environment, e.g. prep gym clothes. 2-minute rule, scale habits to 2 minutes, e.g. run marathon, tie shoes. Gateway habits, shape decisive moments, forks and day. Addition by subtraction, automate, e.g. one-time buys like better mattress. Commitment devices, lock future self, e.g. Hugo's assistant hid clothes to force writing. Inversion, increase friction for bad habits, e.g. unplug TV post-use. Fourth law, make it satisfying. Reward immediacy. Cardinal rule, rewarded behaviors. Repeat. Immediate versus delayed returns. Modern world delays. Rewards. Add instant pleasure, e.g. save for vacation and Paris trip account. Habit tracking. Visual progress, e.g. paperclip method. Satisfies. Never miss twice. Recover quickly from slips. Accountability. Habit contracts impose pain, e.g. pay friend $20 for missed gym. Inversion, make bad habits unsatisfying, e.g. accountability partners. Side note from related book, Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Parallels identity shifts, be proactive, but frames habits paradigm shifting, e.g. abundance mindset, adding ethical depth to Claire's pragmatic dopamine hacks, e.g. win-win thinking boosts social imitation. Part 4, advanced tactics, mastery, motivation, and reflection. Beyond basics, sustain via genes, flow, and review. Genes and talent. Genes set boundaries. Choose fitting fields, e.g. Phelps is built for. Swimming. Explore or exploit, sample widely, then specialize where fun persists. Personality fit. Align habits, e.g. extroverts thrive in social roles. Goldilocks. Rule, peak motivation at ability's edge, flow state. Variable rewards. Add novelty to combat boredom. Downsides and reflection. Habits automate but breed complacency. Review annually, e.g., Lakers CBE. Integrity reports. Align actions with values. Identity flexibility. Avoid rigid self-views. Adapt like water. Conclusion, endless improvement, Saul writes. Paradox, small actions. Compound, never stop refining. Atomic habits build lasting results. Side note from related book, Ferris's The 4-Hour Workweek echoes environment priming, e.g. geo-arbitrage for low-friction life, but focuses on outsourcing, delegation as ultimate ease. Contrasting Clear's self-focused automation with external leverage. Exercise. Build your atomic habit system. Reflect and act. 1. Audit identity. List 3 desired identities, e.g. fit person. Score current habits plus or minus equals via scorecard. 2. Apply laws. Pick one good habit, make obvious, stack after existing. Attractive, bundle with joy. Easy 2-minute version. Satisfying track streak. Invert for one bad. Supplement insights. Journal how Duhigg's keystone or Fogg's anchors amplify. 4. Review. In 30 days, note progress. Adjust via never miss twice. Question. What tiny change compounds your best self? Aim for weekly reflection to embed. Okay, so this next segment was made with NotebookLM, an AI-powered tool developed by Google. It will be a pretty realistic podcast-style way to learn and understand anything.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to crack open a whole stack of sources, pull out the research, the insights, and give you, well, the really important stuff. Sometimes surprising, maybe even occasionally funny.
That's the plan.
And today, we're diving into something that sounds simple, but is actually pretty profound. Atomic habits. Our journey really kicks off with a story that, honestly, it just perfectly captures the whole idea.
Yeah, it's quite a story. Imagine this. You're a promising high school baseball player, totally into the sport. Your dad even played minor league ball.
Right, so it's in the blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then, bam, 2002, a serious injury lands you in a medically induced coma. You wake up and you literally have to relearn basic movements. Walking straight, just moving. It sounds like an absolute nightmare.
Oh, completely devastating. Just soul-crushing, you'd think. And this individual, James Clear, who wrote the book Atomic Habits, we're digging into, he actually got cut from his high school varsity team after all that.
Yeah, he called it humiliating. Ended up on junior varsity, barely saw any varsity playtime at all.
But here's the twist, right? That absolute rock-bottom moment, it somehow became the trigger for something totally different.
It did. Clear started focusing on these tiny, consistent habits, like just hitting the weights multiple times a week, every week. And he literally rebuilt himself. Went from 170 pounds to a lean 200.
Wow.
By his junior year, he's team captain, all-conference. Senior year, those small habits, sleep, study, strength, they had completely changed his path.
And that right there, that's the core of Atomic Habits. The word atomic. It's not just about being tiny.
No, it's also about power, like an atom being a source of immense energy. It's this idea that these tiny, seemingly insignificant choices, day after day, they compound.
Yeah, it's not linear. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, just gathering more and more momentum, becoming unstoppable.
Precisely. So, our deep dive today is all about unpacking that surprising power for you. We're going to explore how these tiny, consistent changes can lead to really big, lasting transformations in your life, pulling from all the great source material you sent over.
Okay, let's get into it with a really striking example. British cycling. For almost 100 years they were, well, let's just say they weren't exactly setting the world on fire.
Forgettable is putting it mildly. One Olympic gold since 1908. No Tour de France wins in 110 years. It was, a real drought.
A total wasteland of mediocrity. Then, 2003, they hired Dave Brailsford as performance director. And his whole philosophy?
Aggregation of marginal gains. He wasn't looking for some massive silver bullet. He focused on finding tiny, like 1% improvements, but across everything.
And when you say everything, you mean everything, not just the obvious stuff like training.
Oh, yeah. Bike seat ergonomics, testing different massage gels, figuring out the optimal pillows for the riders to sleep on. I mean, really granular stuff.
It sounds almost obsessive.
Maybe a little, but the results were just incredible. It's like that airplane analogy, right? Take off from LA, aiming for New York, adjust your heading, just 3.5 degrees, tiny change.
Barely noticeable at the start.
Exactly. But you don't land in New York. You end up hundreds of miles away in Washington, D.C. That tiny initial shift makes a massive difference down the line.
That really hits home the compounding effect. Time is the key factor here, isn't it?
It really is. Time magnifies whatever you feed it. It's your best friend if you have good habits, and, well, your worst enemy if you've got bad ones. It just multiplies the gap between success and failure.
And this isn't just for elite athletes, obviously. We see this compounding everywhere in life.
Absolutely. Think about productivity. Doing just one extra small task each day feels like nothing in the moment.
Right. Insignificant.
But over a whole career, the total output becomes enormous. It adds up massively.
Or knowledge. Reading one book, okay, doesn't make you a genius overnight.
Of course not.
Mm.
But committing to lifelong learning,
Yeah.
reading consistently, that is transformative. It's like Warren Buffett said about knowledge building up like compound interest. Each new idea connects with others, creating this richer way of thinking.
Yeah, building a network of ideas in your head, even relationships, right? Just being a tiny bit nicer, a bit more thoughtful in each interaction, remembering small details.
Over time, that builds incredible trust and connection. You're making these little deposits of goodwill that just grow and grow into a really strong network.
Okay, but let's be real. Starting new habits is often frustrating because you don't see results right away. There's this lag.
Oh, yes, the plateau of latent potential. This is crucial to understand. Think about an ice cube in a cold room. The temperature rises from, say, 25 degrees Fahrenheit to 31 degrees.
And nothing happens.
Yeah.
Still an ice cube.
Exactly. No visible change. But then it hits 32 degrees, just one more degree, and boom, it starts melting. That 1 degree, which felt no different from the previous ones, unlocks this total transformation.
And that's like our habits. We put in the work, maybe for weeks, months even, and see nothing. It feels pointless.
That's the valley of disappointment. It's where most people give up, right? Because the results are delayed. But the work isn't wasted. It's being stored. You're building potential.
You're getting closer to that 32-degree mark.
Precisely. The breakthrough often comes long after the initial effort. You have to trust the process, even when you can't see the immediate payoff. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where might you be in that 25 to 31 degree zone right now? What's that next small, consistent step?
That's a great way to think about it. And it connects to another big idea from the sources. Shifting focus away from just goals, which sounds wrong almost. We're taught goals, goals, goals.
It feels counterintuitive, yeah. But the problem with only focusing on goals is that achieving the goal, that changes your life just for that moment.
Like the marathon runner example.
Exactly. Train like crazy for months, cross the finish line, and then what? Often the motivation just vanishes. They stop running. It's that yo-yo effect. The goal was the end point, not a continuous way of being.
And goals can also mess with your happiness, right? Because you're basically saying, I'll be happy when I achieve X.
Right. Your satisfaction is constantly deferred, pins to this future outcome that might only happen once, or, let's face it, might not happen at all. You miss out on enjoying the process itself.
So the alternative is focusing on systems.
Systems, exactly. A system-first approach means falling in love with the process, the daily practice, the routine. When you do that, you don't need to wait for the big win to feel good.
You get satisfaction just from running the system.
Yeah.
Showing up, doing the reps.
Precisely. The joy is in the doing. And this leads to the most powerful idea for habit change, really. It's not about what you want to achieve or even how. It's about who you wish to become.
Ah, the identity piece.
Yes. Every single action you take, big or small, is like casting a vote for the type of person you want to be.
So if I go to the gym, even if I don't feel like it, I'm voting I'm the type of person who exercises.
Exactly. If you write one page, you're voting I'm a writer. Your identity literally emerges from the accumulation of these habits, these tiny micro-evolutions of the self. You actually become your habits over time.
Okay, that's the big picture, the philosophy, super powerful. But how do we actually do it? How do we build these better habits day to day?
Right, the practical stuff. The author gives us a really clear framework based on this universal four-step pattern that underlies every single habit, good or bad. And it actually goes way back to psychology experiments with cats from, like, 1898.
Cats.
Seriously.
Seriously. Edward Thorndike, He watched cats learn how to escape puzzle boxes. They'd accidentally hit a lever, escape, get a reward, and then repeat the action faster next time. He figured out this basic loop.
Okay, so what's the loop?
It's 4 steps. 1, the cue. That's the trigger. It tells your brain, hey, start this behavior, there's a reward coming, like your phone buzzing.
Okay, the buzz is the cue.
2, the craving. That's a motivation, the desire for the reward. You want to know who texted, what the message says.
I got it.
3, the response. That's the actual habit. You pick up the phone, you read the text.
Simple enough. And 4, the reward. This satisfies that craving. You get the info, maybe a little hit of connection or novelty. And crucially, it teaches your brain, hey, that sequence worked. Let's do it again next time the cue appears.
So habits are basically just the brain being efficient, creating mental shortcuts so it doesn't have to think so hard all the time.
Exactly. Reduces cognitive load, frees up your conscious mind. It's why so much of our day runs on autopilot.
Which is great for efficiency, but maybe not always great for our intentions.
Right. But understanding this loop gives us the power to change it. And that leads directly to the 4 laws of behavior change. 4 simple questions, one for each stage of the loop.
Okay, what are they?
To build a good habit, you ask, 1, how can I make the cue obvious? 2, how can I make the craving attractive? 3, how can I make the response easy? And 4, how can I make the reward satisfying?
Obvious, attractive, easy, satisfying. Got it. Let's break down that first one. Make it obvious.
Okay, so our brains are amazing prediction machines, right? Constantly scanning, noticing cues, making super fast judgments. Think about like an experienced paramedic glancing at someone and just knowing they're at high risk for a heart attack.
Yeah, even if they can't immediately explain exactly why. It's intuitive.
Or a military analyst spotting one enemy missile signature amidst tons of friendly radar blips. Or even, like the source mentioned, a hairdresser noticing subtle changes in hair texture that suggest pregnancy. These cues are registered, often unconsciously.
But the problem with our daily habits is that the cues become so familiar, they basically disappear.
They become invisible. The TV remote always on the coffee table, the phone always in your hand, the cookie jar right there on the counter. We just react automatically without even noticing the trigger anymore. Lack of self-awareness is a huge barrier.
So step 1 is just becoming aware.
Exactly. That's where the habit scorecard comes in. Just literally write down your habits through the day. Wake up, check phone, brush teeth, make coffee. It sounds basic, but it can be incredibly eye-opening to see it all laid out. You notice patterns you weren't conscious of.
Okay, so awareness first, then what?
Then you get specific with implementation intentions. This isn't just vague, I'll exercise more. It's nailing down the when and where. The formula is, when situation X arises, I will perform response Y.
Like when my lunch break starts at noon, I will walk for 15 minutes.
Precisely. That study mentioned is amazing. 91% of people who planned when and where they'd exercise actually did it at least once a week. Compare that to only 38% for those who just had the general intention. Specificity makes a huge difference.
Wow, just writing it down like that triples the follow-through.
It really does, and you can build on this with habit stacking. This uses an existing habit as the cue for a new one. It leverages the Diderot effect, you know, how buying one new thing makes you want other new things that go with it.
Right, one behavior triggers the next.
So the formula is, after current habit, I will new habit.
Like after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute.
Perfect. Or after I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my workout clothes. You're linking the new desired habit to something you already do automatically. It creates this natural chain reaction.
You could even stack a few together, right?
Yeah.
Coffee, then meditate, then write to-do list.
Absolutely. Create a little routine where one habit flows smoothly into the next, reduces the need for willpower at each step.
Beyond these planning techniques, what about our actual surroundings?
Environment design. This is huge. Remember Kurt Lewin's equation? B if PE. Behavior is a function of the person and their environment. It's not just about internal motivation. It's how that interacts with the world around you.
So changing the environment can be as powerful as trying to change yourself.
Often more powerful because it works passively. The hospital cafeteria study is the classic example. Dr. Ann Thorndike didn't lecture anyone about healthy eating.
No, she just moved the drinks around.
Exactly. Put water bottles in more prominent spots, near cash registers, in baskets by food stations. Soda sales dropped over 11%. Water sales jumped over 25%. Just by making water more obvious. It's almost unbelievable how simple it was.
It's like what supermarkets do, right? Putting pricey brands at eye level, impulse buys near the checkout.
Absolutely. That's suggestion impulse buying. making the desired choice the most obvious one. Coca-Cola apparently gets nearly half its sales from those end-of-aisle displays. Obviousness drives choice.
And vision is our strongest sense, you mentioned.
By far. Something like 10 million of our 11 million sensory receptors are for sight. That's why visual cues are so incredibly powerful, like that fly sticker in the urinals at Schiphol Airport.
Oh yeah, the aiming target.
Reduced cleaning costs by 8%. Just a tiny visual cue, a massive impact on behavior. It made the right action obvious and, well, maybe slightly more engaging.
So the takeaway is, make the cues for your good habits obvious and visible. Put your running shoes by the door, leave your vitamins out on the counter.
Exactly. And conversely, make cues for bad habits invisible. Hide the junk food, put the remote in a drawer. And this ties into context, too. Habits get tied to specific locations.
Like the couch is for TV, the desk is for work.
Right. And if you try to mix those contexts, like working from the couch or scrolling social media at your desk, you often default to the easier or more established habit for that space. So try to have one space, one use, if possible. Don't mix your habit contexts.
Okay, that covers making it obvious. Let's move to law 2.
Yeah.
Make it attractive. This feels more about the why, the motivation.
It is. We live in this modern world that bombards us with what the sources call supernormal stimuli. Think hyper-palatable junk food, endless social media notifications, clickbait articles.
Things engineered to be irresistible.
Precisely. They're exaggerated versions of things our brains are naturally wired to find: rewarding foods, social connection, novelty. But our brains evolved in a much different environment, one of scarcity. Today's concentrated, easily accessible rewards can hijack those ancient circuits and drive excessive habits.
And dopamine is key here,
Hmm.
right? But maybe not in the way we usually think.
Yeah, the dopamine story is fascinating. Those 1950s rat experiments by Olds and Milner were groundbreaking. They showed dopamine isn't just about feeling pleasure. It's heavily involved in motivation and anticipation.
So it's the wanting, not just the liking.
Exactly. Dopamine surges when we anticipate a reward. Gamblers get a hit before placing the bet. Addicts get a rush when they see the substance or paraphernalia. It's the anticipation of the reward that actually drives the action.
Wow, so the craving, the desire, is powered by this anticipated dopamine rush.
Right, and sometimes the anticipation can feel even better than getting the reward itself. Think about planning a vacation versus the actual trip sometimes. That wanting drives us forward.
So how do we leverage that to make good habits more attractive?
One really cool technique is temptation bundling. You pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do.
Like that engineering student who hacked his bike to only play Netflix if he was pedaling?
Perfect example, Ronan Byrne. He bundled the temptation, Netflix, with the necessary habit, exercise. Genius. The formula is basically, after habit I need, I will habit I want. Or even after current habit, I will habit I need. After habit I need, I will habit I want.
So like, after I check my email current habit, I'll make one prospecting call habit I need. After I make the call habit I need, I will check social media habit I want.
Exactly. You link the less desirable task to an immediate reward you actually look forward to. Makes the need-to-do habit feel like a gateway to the want-to-do habit.
Okay, that's clever. What else makes habits attractive? The social angle seems huge.
Oh, massively. The seductive pull of social norms. We are fundamentally herd animals. We want to fit in, belong, earn respect and approval. It's deeply wired. Being an outsider was dangerous in our evolutionary past.
The Polgar sisters story illustrates this perfectly. The dad who decided to raise chess grandmasters.
Laszlo Polgar. His belief. A genius is not born, but is educated and trained. He created this immersive chess environment for his daughters. Chess wasn't just something they did, it was their culture, their norm.
And they all became incredibly good, right? World champions, grandmasters.
Because it was attractive and normal within their tribe. They enjoyed it because it was just what their family did. We naturally imitate the habits of the cultures we belong to.
We pick up accents, mannerisms. Even weight gain or loss can be influenced by our friends.
Yeah, that study showing a 57% increased chance of obesity if a close friend became obese is startling. But it works both ways. So the practical advice. Join a tribe where your desired behavior is the normal behavior.
Find your people. If you want to get fit, join a running club or a gym where people are already doing it.
Exactly. Especially if you already share some other identity with them, like the nerd fitness example gamers getting fit together. That shared identity makes the new behavior stick because it reinforces who you are within that group, becomes part of us.
And we also tend to imitate people we admire or see as successful, right?
Definitely. We copy strategies, recipes, communication styles from people who seem powerful or high status in our field or community. So surrounding yourself, even virtually, with people exhibiting the habits you want can make those habits seem more attractive.
Finally, under attractive, there's reframing how we think about the habit itself.
Yes, reframing your habits. It's about changing your perception. Instead of, ugh, I have to go for a run, think it's time to build endurance and speed.
Or saving money isn't sacrifice, it's building freedom.
Precisely. You associate the habit with a positive benefit or identity rather than a chore. Athletes use pre-game rituals to shift into game mode. It's a mental reframing to make the upcoming challenge feel exciting, not daunting.
Okay, makes sense. Law 3. This feels very practical.
Extremely practical. It starts with understanding that, especially early on, quantity often matters more than quality. Remember that photography class experiment?
Yeah, the quantity group, graded on number of photos, ended up producing better work than the quality group trying for one perfect shot.
Because they were constantly practicing, making mistakes, learning, iterating. The quality group got bogged down in theory. Habit formation is built on frequency, on repetition. You need reps to make it automatic. Hundreds, maybe thousands.
And this connects to a basic human drive, doesn't it?
The law of least effort. We are fundamentally wired to conserve energy. Given two options, we'll naturally gravitate towards the one that requires less work. We are motivated to do what is easy.
So if we want to build good habits, we have to make them the path of least resistance.
Exactly. Reduce friction. Think of that bent garden hose analogy. You can try to force more water through, increase motivation, or you can just unbend the hose, make it easier. Unbending the hose is usually far more effective.
This is where environment optimization comes back in.
Big time. Japanese factories streamlining workflows so tools are always within reach. Voice assistants making music access effortless. Reducing steps, removing obstacles.
Even that government example, just providing a direct link to a tax form instead of making people download it. Small change, big impact on compliance.
Millions in revenue difference. It's about making the desired action as frictionless as possible. Remove steps between you and the good habit.
And the flip side for bad habits.
Increase friction. Make them difficult, inconvenient, annoying to perform. That's the inversion of Law 3.
Like Victor Hugo locking away his clothes so he had to stay inside and write.
That's an extreme but classic example of a commitment device. A choice you make in the present to lock in better behavior in the future.
Buying snacks in small individual packages instead of a giant bag.
Or deliberately leaving your wallet at home when you go for a walk if you're trying to avoid impulse buys. Self-banning from websites or casinos. You're basically creating obstacles for your future, less disciplined self.
And the ultimate way to increase friction or automate good behavior.
Automate habits whenever possible. This locks in behavior with minimal effort ongoing. Think of the guy who bought the cash register company.
John Henry Patterson. The machine made employee theft super difficult.
Practically impossible. Automated honesty, in a way, turned his business profitable. We can do this in our own lives.
Automatic savings transfers, automatic bill pay.
Setting up recurring subscriptions for healthy food delivery, using apps to block distracting websites during work hours, even just unplugging the TV after use or taking batteries out of the remote adds friction to mindless watching.
Leave your phone in another room when you need to focus. That's a big one for me.
Huge friction increase. These one-time actions that automate good habits or disrupt bad ones are incredibly high leverage.
Okay, and there's one more killer technique under Make It Easy.
Ah, yes. The 2-minute rule. This is gold. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do.
So scale it way, way down at the beginning.
Way down. Read before bed becomes read 1 page. Do yoga becomes get out my yoga mat. Run 3 miles becomes put on my running shoes.
The goal isn't the full habit yet, it's just start.
It's mastering the habit of showing up. You make the starting ritual so easy you can't say no. You standardize the first 2 minutes before you worry about optimizing the rest. Doing something is infinitely better than doing nothing.
Love that. Standardize before you optimize. Okay, Law 4. Make it satisfying.
This brings us back to the core principle. What is rewarded is repeated. What is punished is avoided. Simple as that.
But here's where modern life trips us up, right? The delay problem.
Exactly. The mismatch between immediate and delayed rewards. Our brains evolved for immediate feedback. Hunt successfully, eat now, touch fire, pain now. Actions had quick consequences.
But today, work hard all month, paycheck comes later. Exercise today, results come. Eventually.
Yeah.
Save money now, enjoy retirement decades later.
Our brains just aren't naturally wired for that kind of delayed gratification. The reward feels too distant, too abstract.
So the trick is to find a way to feel successful now.
Yes. You need some kind of immediate reward to bridge the gap while the long-term benefits accumulate. Even a small win, a little bit of satisfaction right after you perform the habit, keeps you coming back.
But the type of reward matters, doesn't it?
Critically, the immediate reward needs to reinforce your desired identity, not conflict with it. Celebrating a workout with a healthy smoothie reinforces I'm a healthy person. Celebrating with a giant ice cream sundae sends a mixed message.
Right. If you save money, reward yourself with something that aligns with financial freedom, not by blowing the savings on something frivolous.
Exactly. The reward should feel congruent with the habit you're trying to build, and one of the simplest ways to get immediate satisfaction.
Tracking.
Habit tracking. Just making a check mark on a calendar, moving a paper clip from one jar to another, logging your workout. It provides immediate visual proof of progress. It feels good. Benjamin Franklin did this with his virtue tracking. Each mark is a little dopamine hit, reinforcing the behavior.
And what happens when you inevitably break the streak? Because life happens.
That's where the never miss twice rule comes in. Missing once is an accident. It happens to everyone. The key is to get back on track immediately with the next opportunity.
Don't let one slip-up turn into 2 or 3.
Because missing twice is the start of a new bad habit, the downward spiral. Successful people aren't perfect. They just get back on track faster. Don't beat yourself up. Just don't miss the next one.
Okay, and for breaking bad habits, we need to make them unsatisfying, right? The inversion.
Yes, make it immediately unsatisfying. That dark but illustrative idea about the nuclear launch codes?
Yeah, implanted next to a volunteer's heart so the president would have to physically kill someone to launch.
Horrifying, but it makes the point. Immediate, visceral, negative consequences are powerful deterrents. We learn quickly from pain.
So how do we apply that without, implanting things?
The habit contract. This is a straightforward way to add an immediate cost to unwanted behaviors. You make a verbal or written agreement with someone, an accountability partner.
Like Brian Harris, the entrepreneur who made a weight loss contract with his wife and trainer.
Exactly. Specific habits, specific measurements, and specific immediate punishments for failure, like paying his trainer $200, wearing embarrassing clothes, etc.
That social accountability makes the pain of slacking off immediate and real.
It really does. Just knowing someone else is watching, someone you've made a promise to, can be incredibly motivating. You don't want to face that awkward conversation or pay that penalty. It makes procrastination immediately painful.
Okay, so we have the 4 laws to build habits. But how do we keep going? How do we sustain motivation long term?
This is where the Goldilocks rule comes in. We stay motivated when we're working on tasks of just manageable difficulty. Not so hard they're discouraging, not so easy they're boring.
Right? Like Goldilocks porridge.
Exactly. The sweet spot seems to be working on something that's roughly 4% beyond your current abilities. Challenging enough to be interesting, but not so challenging you feel hopeless. Peak motivation lives on the edge of your current capacity.
But even then, doesn't it get boring sometimes? Just
Yeah.
doing the same thing over and over.
Oh, absolutely. Embracing boredom is maybe the biggest differentiator between amateurs and professionals. Everyone feels unmotivated sometimes. Everyone gets bored with the routine.
So the secret isn't finding constant motivation.
No, the secret is showing up even when you don't feel motivated, falling in love with the process, even the boring parts. True mastery requires pushing through that boredom, sticking with the reps when it stops feeling exciting. Successful people feel the same lack of motivation, they just find a way to act anyway.
Is there anything that helps with the boredom factor?
Well, variable rewards can help. Think about slot machines. They're addictive partly because the reward schedule is unpredictable. You never know when you'll win. That uncertainty keeps things interesting, keeps dopamine flowing.
So introducing some unpredictability into a routine could potentially help.
It can, in some contexts. The sources suggest the peak spot for desire is often around a 50-50 chance of success, enough wins to stay engaged, enough challenge to keep striving, keeps it from becoming totally monotonous.
And beyond the day-to-day grind, what about checking in on progress?
Crucial. Reflection and review. Without it, even good habits can slowly degrade over time, that gradual slide. You need to periodically assess how things are going.
Like Pat Riley in the Lakers Career Best Effort program.
Perfect example. Tracking that comprehensive CBE stat for each player, aiming for just 1% improvement each season. That constant measurement and focus on marginal gains kept them sharp, led to championships.
Or Chris Rock testing jokes relentlessly, taking notes, refining.
Or executives keeping decision journals to review their choices and learn from mistakes. The specific method doesn't matter as much as the habit of regular reflection. Are my habits still serving my goals? Are they aligned with my values?
Maybe doing your own annual integrity report, as the sources suggest.
Yeah, a personal check-in. Am I living in alignment with who I want to be? It ensures you stay adaptable and keep improving, not just coasting.
And finally, there's this idea about genetics and finding your own path.
Right, playing your own game. Look, genes don't determine destiny, but they do influence our inclinations, our natural strengths and weaknesses. It pays to be aware of that.
So ask yourself, what feels effortless to me, even if it's hard for others?
Mm.
When do I feel most authentic, most alive?
Exactly. Because the insight is, when you can't win by being better, you can win by being different. Find the game where your unique combination of skills gives you an advantage.
Don't just try to beat everyone at their game. Create your own niche where you naturally excel.
Precisely. Specialize. Combine skills. Reduce the competition by playing a game that fits your nature. Like the saying goes, boiling water softens a potato but hardens an egg. You are what you are.
So find the environment, the game, where being you is an advantage.
Yes. Maybe the wisest path is to work hard on the things that come easy to you. Lean into your natural strengths.
Wow. Okay, wrapping this all up, this deep dive from James Clear's incredible comeback to the tiny tweaks of British cycling, it all circles back to that core theme, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Small habits don't just add up, they compound like interest. The effects grow exponentially over time.
And the real secret to getting those amazing, lasting results isn't some huge, heroic effort.
No, it's just never stopping. Never stop making those small, consistent improvements. The consistency is the key.
It's truly incredible what you can build: a business, fitness, knowledge, relationships, if you just keep putting those tiny bricks day after day, if you just don't stop.
It really is remarkable. The long-term power of small gains is staggering.
And as a final thought, to leave everyone chewing on, the sources offer this really interesting perspective on happiness and desire. It says, happiness is simply the absence of desire. It arrives when you have no urge to feel differently.
That's deep. Happiness is contentment, not constant chasing.
And connecting that to behavior, desire initiates, pleasure sustains. Wanting gets you started, liking keeps you going.
To drivers.
So if it's desirable, you act. If it's enjoyable, you repeat. What does that insight mean for how you approach your own wants, your goals, and this whole ongoing journey of self-improvement? Something to think about.